host of the Gridiron.
Giants now sit at 5th in the NFL draft. Ooh. Tell you what, you just look at some of those teams, those Jaguars, they are just straight up trash. Straight up pure D garbage. I will tell you what. Oh, my goodness. The Lions had like almost 650 yards of offense. They had 38 first downs. You know how hard it is to get 38 first. I think that's what the Cowboys had. The Cowboys had something close to that against the Giants last year on Thanksgiving, or two years ago. 2 years ago, last year, whatever it was, on the last year. Let me see. This is bothering me. Let's see what we got here. The Cowboys when I think it was, let's see here. Try this here. 200 New York. Because I know the Cowboys had a ton of first downs on the Giants too. And it felt like it too. It had to be last year. The 49-17 beatdown. Okay, let's go to box score here. It had to be last year. Yeah, it wasn't the Thanksgiving Day game. What did the Cowboys have? 32. They had 32 first downs. But they had 640 yards of offense. Basically, that's about how many yards of offense the Lions had. They had like 640, something around there. Almost 650 yards of offense the Lions had. But they had 38 first downs. I mean, holy cow. You know how hard it is to get 38 first downs? Wow. I mean, the Jaguars are just, oh, my goodness. Well, they don't got Lawrence in there either. I'm sure that would have made a huge difference. But the Giants, obviously, like all the teams that had 2 wins going into this past week, they all lost. So, right. But so where the Giants sit in the 2025 NFL draft order following the bye week, unfortunately. New York Giants' chance to earn the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft took a significant hit during the bye week. As the Giants prepare to come out of the bye for the final 7 games of the season, they are among the teams with the best chance to land the top overall pick in this upcoming draft. There are 3 other teams that share the Giants' record of 2-8, while the Jacksonville Jaguars currently hold the top spot in the draft order, though they haven't had their bye yet, so they're 2-9. With the majority of Week 11 games concluded, here's a look at the updated NFL draft order, according to Tankathon. So we got the Jaguars at number 1 because they're 2-9. Then you had all these next 4 teams all had their byes. Right? So you had the Titans, the Browns, the Raiders, and the Giants. So they're all 2-8. But of course, unfortunately, what stinks is that the Giants. There's 4 teams, all are 2-8. Of course, the Giants have the toughest strength of schedule as of this point in time. So that's why they're picking 5th instead of 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. But the Giants have some easier teams coming up, all right, that they're going to be playing with some bad records. So that'll help the Giants' strength of schedule. Right, but then again, also, easier teams means chances of some victories. I mean, I said, they could win any given Sunday. Anything can happen. I said, look at the Cowboys. I mean, they just they're 0-5 at home. I mean, they're getting throttled every time at home. I mean, they're just looking just straight up trash. I mean, 34-10 they lost here. I mean, they get killed by the Eagles. 34-6 to the Eagles. It was 34. Now, to be the Eagles, I mean, I think it was Ezekiel Elliott fumbled the ball at the 2-yard line. I mean, what a fucking idiot. I mean, dude's worried about going like this. Why don't you hold on to the ball, you idiot? So that took basically 7 points off the board for him. Another thing that took 4 points off the board for him was because the sunlight. I think Cooper Rush hit it was CeeDee Lamb and ABCD in the shoulder because he couldn't see the ball because of the sunlight. Well, he was wide open. Right? Hit it. If he saw the ball, he would have caught the ball for a touchdown. So I think they kicked the field goal there. So I would give him another 4 points. So it was 34-6. But I mean, they could easily had 34-6. It still would have been blown up, but it would have been like 34-17 or so. I mean, also like in the second half when you're down, by 3 scores or whatever, some of the teams like they're packing it in, for the game. So, but they just get killed at home, But so the Giants, unfortunately, now are at 5th. So it's no secret that the turmoil. There we go. The Giants still have a shot at the number 1 pick and at least a top 3 pick in the draft. That will be vital for their chances to grab a potential franchise quarterback. Well, we're going to go over that in just a little bit. Now, the thing is that if you look at it too, and I brought this up, what the heck was it? Why did I bring this up? But maybe it might have been the last video. I think it was. Because Jacksonville, depends upon Lawrence when he's coming back. He might lead him to a victory or two just because he's back, which would be cool. The thing is that if they wind up number 1, that's not so bad because quite possibly, they got themselves a quarterback. Now, whether Peterson's there or not, who knows, right? But they got themselves a quarterback, so they may not be looking for a quarterback. The problem is that that's kind of like, an invitation for them. We don't need a quarterback. We can have somebody jump up, right? Grab a quarter, trade with us. We slide back a few spots. We get their number 1 pick. We pick up another 2nd-round pick and another 4th-round pick or whatever. So however it works out, they pick up some draft picks, move back a few spots, and they still get themselves a great player, right? So the thing would be like, is that an invitation for the Giants? Say the Giants, whatever, same picking 5th or 6th, that they call up, they pick up the phone and talk to Jacksonville. Hey, want to trade a number 1 overall pick? So I'll have to wait and see. But the Giants have to be all in on a quarterback. Now, once again, we're going to go over this quarterback stuff here in a little bit. And just because you got a chance at the top quarterback don't mean nothing. Don't mean nothing. So, let's see. Considering all 4 teams currently ahead of the Giants could find themselves looking for a quarterback, possibly even the Jaguars, which is possible, right? Holding the 5th overall pick may not be high enough to take a quarterback because there's only so many quarterbacks. There's only like 3 quarterbacks, I think, who have, according to PFF. Now, guys, you're going to jump up the board. Once the season's over with and they get to the East-West Shrine Game, the Senior Bowl, the Combine, the Pro Day workouts, then they have their meetings and all that, guys are going to jump up the board. Guys are like a 2nd-round pick. He was a late 2nd-round pick or something, maybe. Now he's like, he could be the greatest quarterback of all time. His East-West Shrine Game, what a performance he put on. He might be the best quarterback we've ever seen. So that happens all the time. Like McCarthy last year, right? I don't know what he was, late 1st, 2nd-round pick, and all of a sudden he might be the greatest quarterback of all. Get McCarthy while you can. He's probably the greatest quarterback we've ever, so that happens every year. But as of right now, there's only 3 quarterbacks, according to PFF, who have 1st-round grades, right? So if we're picking 5th, even if the Jaguars are picking 1st, there's 3 other teams in front of the Giants as of right now. Long way to go. You win 1 or 2 games, and you're going from 5th back to 12th. Right? So, yeah. Right? So, but as of right now, okay. Let us look at the teams. The Titans, yeah, they need it. I don't think they're especially 2-8 with their quarterback. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be looking for a quarterback. The Browns, oh yeah. The Deshaun Watson debacle, oh yeah. And then the Raiders, oh yeah, they're looking for a quarterback. And the Giants, oh yeah, they're looking for a quarterback. The thing is, if the Patriots wind up in front of the Giants, they're not looking for a quarterback, right? But then you look at all these other teams right behind them. They're quarterbacks. The Jets, the Panthers, not the Cowboys, possibly the Saints. Possibly, maybe. Who knows? The Dolphins, maybe. What's going on with Tua? Is he gonna, with his health and everything? But I mean, with the Jets, I mean, Rodgers might retire. I mean, you got Rodgers. You brought Adams in here with you. All of this and everything. You had a great defense. Of course, we fired the coach. That didn't help. But I mean, and they stink. So, I mean, whether Rodgers comes back or whatever, I don't even know what his contract's like. But if they do he comes back, they're going to want somebody behind him. Because if this is his last year or next year's last year, whatever, sooner or later it's going to be his last year, and they're going to want a quarterback behind him. So there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, but the problem is there's not enough to go around. It's not like like this past draft where it was just like quarterback mania. I think out of the first 10 picks, 37 of them were quarterbacks. I mean, it's just like so everybody, you get a quarterback, and you get a quarterback, and you get a quarterback, and you get a quarterback. So there's not that many to go around. It's not, possibly, if we do our due diligence and all and everything, possibly it might be not a bad, we ain't telling Shane and Dave nothing. I mean, they're all doing it. Who's going to be a free agent at the end of the year? Who might be likely to be traded? I mean, I'm sure. I don't know if they're picking the phone up and calling about Trevor Lawrence, whatever. I don't know. They can do that or not, whatever. But they're doing all kinds of stuff, to see where they can go. Well, if we can't get a quarterback in the draft, or if we can't get a top 2 or 3 quarterback in the draft, where can we go from there? Right? Do we take one in the second round, if there is one in the second round? Right? So that there's different ways to skin a cat, obviously, but the Giants are unfortunately, just because we have say we wind up 4-13 or 5-12 or whatever, it doesn't mean we're getting a quarterback in the first round. A lot of teams need quarterbacks, right? You got Sanders and Ward. They seem to be high up there, but the quarterback, I think Milroe, the quarterback from Alabama. Milroe. He's the highest graded quarterback, I think, according to PFF. So, but there's, each one, they all have flaws to their game, right? Sanders looks really good. He's putting up some good numbers and all, but then again, the quality of caliber of talent he's going up against. They all have their issues to them. There's no, dead stone lock, number one quarterback here, right? As we're going to see, we're going to go over, right? Just because you're taking a quarterback number 2 or 3 overall. Does not guarantee success, shall we say? All right, let's see here. Another one here. Giants had their annual bye week, and even that proved to be unkind to the franchise. Now, they didn't lose any games, but of course we lost. We went from pick number 2 down to pick number 5. Giants, who entered week 11, slotted with the number 2 overall pick in the draft behind the Jaguars, who still hold the overall first pick. Dropped to number 5 behind the Titans, the Browns, and the Raiders. Well, the Jaguars are number 1 because their record's 2-9. Of those teams who are also 2-8, the toughest strength of schedule is the Giants at 5-29, which serves as the tiebreaker when it comes to teams that haven't gone head-to-head or aren't eligible for the other tie-breaking procedures. Not that this will make Giant fans who are calling for the team to tank feel any better, but the Giants no longer have the longest losing streak in the league. That honor goes to the Las Vegas Raiders, who dropped their 6th straight game on Sunday in a 34-19 road loss to the Dolphins. Giants, though, are in the midst of a 5-game losing streak, which is the second longest such streak in the league, and is 1 game worse than the Jaguars, Cowboys, Bucks. Well, the Cowboys just tied that, so because they just got blown out tonight. Giants spent the bye week evaluating all that has led them to winning just 2 games this season, a season in which, save for 2 blowout losses, they've been close. And we're going to go over that in just a minute. Giants are expected to make changes when they show up for work again on Monday. Well, because this article was written a couple of days ago. Among the Giants' 2025 roster needs is no particular order. Our quarterback, cornerback, interior defensive line, edge. Yeah. They have two starting edge. They could use a backup edge, but they can use a backup edge rusher who gets results. Not taking an edge rusher in the third or fourth round. Oh, now we got depth. No, you need somebody who can put in there who actually gets pressure on the quarterback. Toman Fox is not that guy. Newsflash for you, right? The biggest need taking shape include quarterback. Should the Giants plan to be moving on from starter Daniel Jones? After the season is expecting a cornerback where the depth is paper thin across the board. Yep. Well, I mean, another one of the things, too, is that, I would really like to say, obviously would be get somebody next to Sexy Dexy. Somebody next to the sexy one. It all starts in the defensive line. It starts in the trenches. All starts in the trenches. If you control the trenches, you give yourself a real good chance. Right? So I would love to see him get a defensive tackle. Yeah. I mean, look what not that it's that easy, don't get me wrong, but look what we did in the third round. We got ourselves a pretty darn good. I mean, Phillips, as of right now, according to PFF, is the second. There's one other guy, I can't remember his name, from Pittsburgh. When I did my video 2 nights ago, whatever it was, there's a guy from Pittsburgh who played like 29 snaps, who had, I think, the highest cornerback. But he had 29 snaps, so I just forget about it, right? So, Drew Phillips, right, behind Ramsey, right? Phillips is the second, and I don't know what Ramsey graded out against the Raiders or nothing, but I mean, Drew Phillips is the second ranked, according to PFF, cornerback in the NFL. So look what we did in the third round. So, but this is supposed to be a good defensive tackle draft. So hopefully we can get a defensive tackle. What I would hate would be, let's wait a couple years and then we'll get somebody next to Sexy Dexy to help him out. Well, when Sexy is in his 10th year, I mean, he's not getting any younger. This is his 6th season. He's taken a lot of snaps. He's been beaten up a lot. I mean, he's going to start somewhere along the line. He's going to tail off. He's going to flatten out, and then he's going to start going downhill. All right, let's get some help next to the sexy one. While we got Kayvon, while we got Burns, while we got healthy, good, sexy, right, in his prime, and let's get another stud in there. Get that front wall. I would love that. Absolutely love that.